Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of No Niche Zone, the podcast about everything. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I haven't said that in a while. Priscilla Davies. And so excited to be back with y'all. We're just trucking along. It's already August. It's already August. Like, why is the summer over already? You know what and also like living out here in LA, I know there's been heat waves all over the country, but LA has felt like fall here. I mean, it's like barely this week, I think we're gonna barely get into the 80s. So it really hasn't felt like summer at all. I'm sure we'll get our heat wave in October, when it should come, right? But guys, it's already August. It is August. Like, get your last looks in, get your last licks in, spin that block as many more times as you need to, because time is a ticking. It's time to get back to business in a few weeks. And speaking of August, y'all, we recently got the July job numbers from the Trump administration, folks, and it is not looking good. It is not looking good. It's not looking good for the Trump administration. And consequently, that means it's not looking good for us, the American people, y'all. Oh boy. All of these Trump tariffs, all of these like unstable economic policies that he keeps putting in and taking out and changing, it's 10% tariffs today. Tomorrow it's 20% tariffs. The next day it's 100% tariffs. Then we don't have any tariffs. We're going to cancel the tariffs. We're going to push them off for another 6 weeks. We're going to push them off for another 90 days, right? All of these tariffs have been happening, all of these wild economic policies, and the economy has remained relatively stable during this whole entire duration of this crazy instability, right? And, the Trump administration has been like, and MAGA world has been like, oh, you know what? Look, the economy is doing great. So I don't know why anybody's complaining. He's doing a great job with the economy. Well, it turns out, folks, that in fact is incorrect. So the July job numbers came in. And according to CNBC, the United States added just 73,000 jobs in July. And not just did it only add 73,000. And just so you know, economists have projected that we would be adding 100,000 jobs in July, and we only added 73,000. But that's not the worst part. Not only that, but the numbers for prior months that we had been given were actually revised to be much lower, y'all. So the numbers that we were given for the previous couple months where things have been stable, everything has been okay, those have been amended, and they've been amended down, y'all. They're clicking, but they're clicking down, okay? And so specifically, those revisions specifically were for May and June. And the jobs that were added were revised down by 125,000 jobs in May and 133,000 jobs in June. So what they reported in May is actually 125,000 jobs less than what they reported. And what they reported in June is actually thousand positions less than what they reported in June. So we have abysmal job numbers for July. Then the job numbers that looked pretty good in June and May have actually turned out to be worse, y'all, by 125,000 and 133,000 respectively. And that makes May and June of 2025 the worst months of job growth since mass layoffs in 2020, y'all. Do you remember what was happening in 2020? I do. It was called the pandemonium. Some may also remember or refer to it as the Panda Express. We were going through it. Lockdown. The economy was in the gutter. And the jobs growth that we're experiencing now is worse than the mass layoffs since 2020 during the pandemonium, y'all. And remember, the Trump administration been telling us everything is fine. But part of the reason why they've been able to do that is because, again, you have to look into the numbers. You can't just look at the numbers. You have to look into the numbers, okay? And so a lot of, in July, that job growth, that 73,000 job growth was almost exclusively, I don't want to say exclusively, but a lot of it was in the healthcare sector and other like big money sectors like tech. Okay. So as usual, it's like tech's doing good, so we're all doing good. But that's not the case, because actually, the numbers, let me pull this up. Actually, manufacturing jobs have gone down by 11,000 in July. All right. So while there was gains, and it wasn't great gains, but there were some gains, industries were actually losing, like manufacturing. That's the working class. That's the bread and butter of this country, right? That is the so-called working class that Republicans lie to the people and tell them that they're working for, right? Manufacturing jobs down by 11,000. Local government jobs down by 3,000. All right. Healthcare was up, thankfully. Social assistance, retail, finance, of course, the finance industry, those were up. Okay. But unfortunately, things like, professional and business services were also down, and the federal government down 12,000. 12,000 in July and down 84,000 since January. What happened in January? Trump took office and started what? Doge. Started slashing the government employees, right? So government employees, manufacturers, these are the positions that are getting hit. The working class, the degular people out there, the people that supposedly Republicans are supposedly working for, right? So things are not looking good, folks, in the job market. Things are not looking good, guys. The June job numbers were the weakest since December 2020. Okay, again, we remember what was going on in 2020. This is the peak. December of 2020 is the peak of us being in lockdown and all that economic turmoil that we went through. So, guys, this is unfortunately probably going to be the beginning of a downward trend. All right. We know that what's going on with this president, we know that this guy, his goal is to tank the economy. We've talked about that, right? Who benefits when the economy tanks but the wealthy? The top, the billionaires, the CEO, the CEOs, the corporations, right? Those are the people, the people who have the big government contracts, the Elons out there, right? Those are the people who benefit from a downturn economy. Remember, this system, capitalism, is a setup, right? It's a freaking setup. And the only people who win in capitalism are the capitalists. And no, Buki, you having $10,000 saved in your savings account does not make you a capitalist. We're talking about the billionaires. We're talking about the multimillionaires. We're talking about the CEOs. Okay, that's who we're talking about when we talk about capitalists. We're talking about the people we don't even know, the scary people behind the curtain, in the shadows, the real money makers, right? That's who we're talking about, the people who are influencing the whole entire planet. Those are the capitalists, not you and your cute little business that pulls in $500,000 a year. You ain't I hate to break it to you, but you're not a capitalist. You're a cog in the wheel, just like me, just like the rest of us. So capitalism only benefits the capitalists, y'all. And it's such a setup because no matter what's going on in the economy, they win. Economy's booming, they're winning. Economy's busting, they're winning. We're in war, they're winning. We're in peacetime, they're winning. Because that's the setup. No matter what, they always win. I think about the job market. Sorry, not the job market, the housing market. I was trying to buy a house a few years ago, biggest mistake of my life, because that's when the market crashed, right? And it makes me think of the housing market, right? The market is in the pits right now because of the mortgage rates skyrocketing, right? Mortgage rates are skyrocketing, but then what happens when mortgage rates are skyrocketing? The housing prices go down, right? So it's like, okay, you can get a cheaper house, but the money that you're saving on the house, you're paying in the mortgage, right? And then when the mortgages go down, what happens? The housing prices go up. It's a setup, y'all. It's a setup, and the only people who win are the capitalists. The capitalists, y'all. And it's so wild. So when people are asking themselves, why is Trump making all these really bad, risky economic moves, right? This instability, the economy thrives on stability, right? This nonstop instability with the tariffs one day, the tariffs not here the next day. We're tariffing your uncle today. We're tariffing your auntie tomorrow. We're tariffing your little sister, the one that got a limp, we're tariffing her on Tuesday, right? And then we're going to turn around and go, no, actually, we're not tariffing them. JK, right? All of that instability, that market instability, who benefits? Him, Trump, his billionaire cronies. Let's not forget who was in that first row at the inauguration. Billionaires, okay? That's who's benefiting from all of this. When the market is down, they win. When the market is up, they win. It's only us who get screwed when the market changes and vacillates. It's only us. It's only the people, those working class people, the manufacturing jobs that we lost so many of this month. It's only us, folks. We're the losers. We're the ones who are getting screwed. And, I liken this to venture capitalists, right? And what do they call private equity companies, right? Those companies who go in, they buy up a company that's failing. They take it over under the, guise of we're here to build this company back up. We're going to save it from itself. We're going to new management, fix everything. And what do they end up doing? They end up slashing the workforce. They lay everybody in the company off. They basically run the company into the ground. And then what do? They file for bankruptcy, right? Chapter whatever bankruptcy. And then they turn around and they make a profit. So they squeeze the company dry for everything they can get out of it. Then they file for bankruptcy and then they turn a profit. And then they tell us that we just need to work harder. So that's why we're experiencing, this is how these billionaires and these CEOs, this is how they approach the economy. We're all out here thinking that they're so smart and that they're doing, they're so smart in how they approach. No, the system is rigged in their favor. They don't have to worry about making smart investments because if their investment fails, who cares? They can just recoup it and make another investment. And don't forget that the government is protecting them, making sure that they're lowering their taxes. Don't forget that the banks, they're hiding their money in offshore accounts, right? Like, let's not forget that that's how this system is going. We're the only losers who are really adhering to this system. The people who created it and are benefiting from it, they don't even play the game. They're above it. And that's why you see Donald Trump and his cronies making these psycho-ass decisions when it comes to the economy. That's why we see the jobs report that we saw for July. Only 73,000 when economists predicted 100,000 new jobs. Manufacturing down by 11,000 jobs. Government down by, over 10,000 jobs. This is all part of the plan, y'all. And if you're not hip, if you don't get hip to it, you're going to continue jumping on that hamster wheel and running the rat race, thinking that at some point you're going to be able to, catch up to the millionaires and the billionaires. And that's just not how it freaking works. That's just not how it works. And also, there were news reports of Black women and unemployment. I forgot to pull up the actual figures, but unemployment is up for Black women. Sisters. You're all on my... No, okay, I gotta stop. Sisters. Unemployment is up for us because as usual, when the economy starts hitting the fan, who gets the brunt of it first? Who gets the brunt of it and who gets the brunt of it first? Always Black women, Black people, and Black women. The people who are at the bottom of the social hierarchy, of the economic and political hierarchy. Black women. Black women, we are experiencing the highest unemployment rates. Unemployment is rising for us right now. So Black women, it's important for us to start thinking about alternatives to the job market, alternatives to getting into that corporate grind, getting that government job. Because as we see, government jobs are what are being cut. Government jobs are what are being cut. So Black women, I implore you, I urge you, if you're one of the people who are on the receiving end of this unemployment spike for Black women, I urge you to start thinking about alternatives. Start thinking about stepping out of the workforce, stepping out of the rat race, and creating opportunities for yourself. And I know I hate whenever, Black people, we always, why don't you we got to make businesses. I hate whenever people say that. I always get frustrated when people say that. So I want you to be clear. I'm not saying it in that specific way. It is frustrating when people are like, you got to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But there are other creative ways that you can step out of the market, out of the job market. You can also become an independent contractor. That's not an entrepreneur. You're not running your own business, although it is sort of like running your own business, but on a smaller level. You can be an independent contractor. Whatever skills that you were giving to that company that just laid you off, figure out how you can give that skill to somewhere else or other people where you're in control of your hours, you're in control of your money, you set your rates, right? Things like that. And also Black women and women in general. I've said this a million times on this podcast. If you do want to create businesses, if you do want to provide services, you don't have to do the business, you can just provide the service. If you want to provide services, provide them to women, especially Black women. Let's provide services and businesses for Black women, for us, by us. Let us create a micro economy. We're the ones who got the money, y'all. Look at Black women spending. I wish I had the figures for us right now, but look it up. Look up Black women spending. We are the ones that are spending money. We are the ones that are keeping this economy going. Black people in general. With our $1.3 trillion in this economy, but Black women especially, we're the spenders. It's us. We're the ones that are buying the groceries. We're the ones that are shopping and buying clothes. We're the ones that are buying the movie tickets. We're the ones that are buying the cars. It's us. It's us, right? Because in households, who's the one that's doing all that? It's the mom. It's the woman. It's the wife. It's the mother. So Black women, instead of taking our money and putting it out, let's take our money and bring it into us, and let's circulate it amongst us. Create businesses geared towards Black women, for us, by us, especially if you are, in industries that are predominantly dominated by men. Ladies, if you Black women, if you are a carpenter, if you're a plumber, if you're a landscaper, a maintenance woman, a handy woman, whatever you do, if you have some kind of skill set, especially in male-dominated industries, girl, get to it. Make your little website page. You can do it yourself on Wix. Okay, make your little website page, save up a little money to pay somebody to do that for you. Make your little simple website page and start advertising and start promoting yourself. We are in the age of social media where you don't need to have a huge ad budget where you got to pay for word, right? You can sit there and just post on your own social media and get yourself out there. I mean, you will be booked and busy, especially if you work in a predominantly male-dominated field. Girl, get your little plumbing, Black women for Black women plumbing, and not just for Black women, for women. Get your plumbing service for women. I personally go out of my way to work with women and Black women, especially Black people in general, but women, Black women, and Black people. I go out of my way. I make sure, and you can't always do that. Sometimes depending on where you live, you're limited, right? But I go out of my way. If I see that when I'm looking for, a handy person, I look for women. before I look for anybody else. Because you know what? It feels really safe and comfortable to have a woman coming into my house when I'm by myself, and I don't have to worry about that she's gonna be a weirdo and looking at me weird and asking me weird questions and, trying to get my number, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the time. Black queens, sisters, this is the time to venture out. If you have been affected by unemployment, this is the time. I remember I didn't post about this, but I commented on a post. I hope I can remember. But she was talking about how there was one industry, in particular that there was that they really were looking for. And it was something in the trades as well. And I was like, Black women, get up on it. I can't remember what it was, but there's so much out there. And it's not just trades too. It's also like tech. If you're into tech, girl, go take that class. You don't even have to spend money. You can go to your local adult school. Okay? Adult school programs, they be having good ass programs. I took an adult school program once at UCLA, and you can walk away with a freaking credential from a big school if you happen to live near a nice school or your local community college. Y'all, I'm giving y'all too many options here. So Black women, like I said, our unemployment rates in this economy that we're seeing turn down are the highest and rising. So now is a great time for us to think of alternatives, alternative ways, alternative business models, independent contracting, setting up your own website, setting up your own social media, taking courses in your adult school, at your community college, whatever. Now is the time, girl. Sister. All right, y'all, let's move on, shall we? Okay, let's get into some of this internet tea. Okay, this is a little internet, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, IG tea, okay? I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there was a video that was released on Facebook, okay? And in the video, let me make sure. I just want to make sure I have it pulled up. And in the video, where is this picture that I took? Anyway, oh yeah, here it is. Okay. In the video, it's a video of, you basically are seeing a POV shot, right? So you see this POV of someone walking down the street towards like this mail truck, okay? And on the video is written, the caption on the screen, Chicago USPS mail carrier caught endangering baby girls, delivering mail with them in the back without car seats. Mother had her kids with her at work while she wait. Yeah, that's what it was titled. Okay, so it says with them in the back without car seats. Okay. So that's the title of this video. And in the video, you see this POV of someone walking down the street and then they're going towards the mail truck, okay? And you see this male hand reach out and open the mail truck, and you look inside and there's these two little girls in there, okay? Later, as the video proceeds, you realize it's actually three little girls, one of which is an older girl, probably a teenager, okay? So you see these two little girls, and then you see this mail carrier, this woman in uniform running towards the truck, basically like going off on whoever's behind this camera, okay? And so she's like yelling at him and they're arguing. I would play it, but it's literally just argument. Like, you don't need to hear that, but you can go look it up if you want to see it. And she's just arguing back and forth with him, et cetera, et cetera. And so this video gets published, and under the guise, like I said, on the screen, it says USPS mail carrier caught endangering baby girls, okay? Having them in the back of her truck, right? So that's the impression that you get, okay? Also, it's a weird video because it's like, who is this guy opening this mail truck? What's going on? Well, we find out. The plot thickens, okay? The plot thickens. So after this goes viral, now this mother comes to the internet to give her side, and she explains what is going on, and this is what she had to say.
Just giving a little update, letting you guys know that I'm okay. And also, as you see, I'm still at work, and this is how my vehicle look when I'm delivering mail packages, which you guys did not see that in the video because I was actually off the clock again, waiting for my boyfriend to pick the kids up. Like I said, I've been on my job 10 years. I'm not finna jeopardize my job. In that video, I see me walk down the street with my mail bag, putting mail in a mailbox. You did not see me get in my vehicle, driving off. You didn't even see my vehicle move. But again, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. Like I said, I just got to get through this. August 15th is my court date, and I'm going to fight through this. I got this. I just got to, remain positive, remain calm, because I'm not trying to go into a deep depression. This is a lot, but, this right here is only going to make me stronger. So thank you guys for your support. And yeah, a lot of people was asking me, do I still got my oldest? I do. I still got my 13-year-old because she wasn't included in the order of protection, but I still do have her. So again, thank you guys for your support.
Okay, and if you want to look this woman up, if you want to look this woman up, she her name is let me see, it's at THA the mother. So damn, it's moving. Sorry. Let me pause this. The mother. So THA_MOTHA 365. If you want to check her out. Okay. So we get more details from her now, right? Turns out that dude who is opening the mail truck is not some random dude that's just like some bystander who saw something and said something. That dude, we find out, is her baby daddy's brother. Plot thickens. So essentially what you heard her say here and what we get from more information, because she did put up a GoFundMe. So what she explains here is that her baby daddy said he couldn't pick up the kids. I mean, already. He told her he couldn't pick the kids up. Okay? And so she called up her boyfriend to come pick her kids up. She was not working. She was off the clock. She had the kid. They were parked in front of the daycare where she went to go get them. She had the kids in the back of the mail truck with the air conditioning going, with the older daughter who is, I think she said she was 13, right? They're in the back of the truck waiting to be picked up by the boyfriend because the baby daddy said that he couldn't get them. So he couldn't get them, but he could send his brother to come plot on his baby mama. Interesting. How interesting. So this was just a whole freaking setup, okay? And as she tells the rest of the story, he ended up filing an emergency whatever to get custody of the kids. He has now custody of the children. Her court date is in August, okay? This month on the 15th. And she's gonna try to handle all that. She actually put out a GoFundMe, and thankfully she made her amount, and it was tiny. It was like $5,000, girl. You need a lot more money than $5,000 for a court case. But GoFundMe like bumps it up to the next amount if you make it. So hopefully she'll keep getting bumped up and make more money because she freaking deserves it. So turns out this was a whole freaking setup. And she, in the GoFundMe, she explains, quote, "I am reaching out because I am a victim of harassment. Recently, a video involving me went viral. This was posted by my children's father and his brother as part of an ongoing effort to make me appear to be an unfit mother. Their motive is to avoid child support obligations." We're going to talk about it. Their motive is to avoid child support obligations, and they have been filing repeated motions in court to gain advantage. In the past, he told the judge I was homeless, which is untrue. He simply does not know where I live and becomes upset because of it. We're going to talk about that. He rarely supports our children and instead uses these tactics to harass me. The most recent incident occurred when I went to pick up my children from daycare. She explains all that. And she closes out, "This video was edited to make it look like I was delivering mail with my kids in the truck, which is not true." End quote. Okay? So we find out that this is all a part of an ongoing escapade that this man has been doing because according to her, allegedly, according to her, he doesn't want to pay child support. We've heard of this tactic before, right? Of baby daddies who don't want to pay child support, so they try to get they try to get custody of the baby. And then what happens? They end up mad because taking care of children requires a whole lot more than just showing up on weekends to pick up the kid for a couple hours. But I'll get back to that. I digress, and I'll get back to that. Okay? So this is what this poor girl is going through. She has a GoFundMe. You can contribute if you'd like. Again, I told you her name is The Mother 365 if you want to look her up. And we'll be keeping on top of this story. I hope that everything works out. Everything works out for her in her favor. But when I saw this story, it just made me think about y'all, ladies. I tell you all the time, you have to be very careful who you choose to procreate with. You have to be very careful. We talked about how your partner's sperm, ladies, can give you cancer. We talked about that on this podcast before, that your partner may have mutated sperm and can give you cancer from that. It's rare, but it happens and it's a thing. We talked about how your partner's sperm can change your DNA. That if you get pregnant by a man, his DNA can change you, girl. If you have a male child, ironically. If you want to know how that works, go back to our previous episode where we broke that down. We talked about that, ladies. I talked about how during the Diddy trial, remember, I told y'all, ladies, a man will date you, will impregnate you, will move you into his house, will marry you, all to destroy you. We talked about that. We talked about how P. Diddy took that girl Cassie off the market, all so he could destroy her. And that was his intention behind doing that. And that there are men out there, too freaking many, more than you'd like to comfortably admit, who will do shit like that. Who, ladies, your number one op could be the man you sleeping next to at night. These men will impregnate you to trap you. We always talk about how the patriarchy projects onto women, right? And how, the patriarchy is upside down day every day. It's backwards day every day. And they will project the traits of men onto women. This idea that women will trap men with a baby. No. It's the opposite. It's men trapping women with babies, y'all. How can you trap a man with a baby when he can just walk away? How do you trap somebody by you stepping into the cage? How do that work? That's not how it works. You're the one that's going to have to carry that baby for 10 months. Because yes, it's 10 months, not 9 months. Even that they lied to us about, ladies. You're the one that has to carry that baby. You're the one that has to breastfeed that baby, take care of that baby, nurture and raise that baby. How can you trap a man when you're the one that's got to do all the work and he can just get up and walk away? How, Sway? It's not women trapping men. It's men trapping women with babies because listen, babies are great, but they are traps. I hate to say it. And whenever I talk about this, I always get pushback. No, that's not true. That's not really how it is. But it is. These men know what they're doing. They know that if they have a baby with you, they got you forever, for as long as that baby's alive. Because let's not lie to ourselves that at 18, it's all over. No, you're going to have to be at that wedding. You're going to have to be in the hospital when they have a child. You're going to have to be at every graduation. You're going to have to see them forever. It's not just until they're 18. And they know that. Remember what Offset said when, him and Cardi were having a falling out. He, quote unquote, won. Why did he win? Because she was a baby mama. He made her a baby mama. That's why he quote unquote won. They know, ladies, they're not dumb. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm about to prove it to you. You know, I always have proof. I'm going to come to that proof. But they know, ladies, and that's one example. What do you mean you won because you made her a baby mama? That's how they think, folks. That's how the patriarchy works. Okay? And they know because they know that they're sinking their hooks into you. And it's a hook that you can never shake as long as that baby is alive. Even if that baby's dead, you're gonna have to see that fool at the cemetery. He gonna just happen to be at the cemetery every time you go to visit. Just happen. And you see how this girl explained in her situation that he's upset because he doesn't know where she lives. Because again, they're using that child as a tool to have access to you. Whether you're with them or not, they're using that child as a tool to have access to you. That's why they be texting you at 2 a.m. talking about where my son at. What the fuck do you mean, where's my son at 2 a.m? Ladies, they use these children to trap you, and I'm about to prove it. I saw this clip and I was like, wow, I'm so happy that someone is finally telling the truth. Like I tell you, ladies, I always like to get it from the horse's mouth themselves.
Getting rejected.
I'm going to start it over.
I'm not used to getting rejected.
I'll tell you how to overcome that.
How's that?
Get her pregnant. That'll do it, Thomas.
Oh, man. I would like to try to get her pregnant, you know.
And if she has a boy child,
Yeah.
I'll give the boy $10,000.
Oh, that's pretty generous.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. You got like $5 to leave her a tip?
I like to get rid of those because they're little Lincoln.
You don't like Lincoln?
That's a clip from the show Southern Charmed. Okay? And one of the reasons why I love this clip is because it's not, your stereotypical kind of, hip happening, fast life guy, player. This is an old, rich white man from the South talking like this. Now, it might have been a little hard for you to hear the audio, but it starts out with this younger white man. I'm assuming his son or his grandchild. He's telling him how he's being rejected by a woman. I'm being rejected by a woman. And what does that old rich white man tell him? How can he solve that problem of being rejected? He told him to get her pregnant. He said, get her pregnant. That's the solution. But I thought men weren't trapping women with babies. I thought that was just women doing that. I thought that like, what? I'm so confused. And it's not, and again, this is an old, rich, white man saying this, not some hot little 20-something player, from the city. Okay? This is a wealthy old white man saying this. That's their tactic, girl. That's how they get you. They trap you with a baby. So that then down the line, when they feel like they need a little attention, they can come and harass you after y'all done broke up, like this lady, the male lady who got harassed. So, ladies, understand that this is intentional. All right? This is intentional. Like this girl said, the male lady said, he is upset because he doesn't know where she lives. He doesn't have access to her. So what does he use to get access to her? Their child. That's what he uses, their child. And how is he trying to get access to her and mess with her? He is trying to take custody from her by doing this weird setup with his, and he got his brother in on it. His own brother didn't even tell him to have some freaking sense. He got his own brother in on it. Because when they can't trap you with the baby, when you finally say enough is enough, I'm done, I'm out of here, then that's when they start doing these maniacal things like trying to get custody of the baby or the child or the children just to spite the baby mama. Because that's what he's doing. He's doing this just to spite her. And then you see these baby fathers who do this to spite their baby mamas. You see them doing that. And then when they actually get the child, what happens? They want to give the kid back. Because it takes a lot to take care of a child. Either they want to give the child back, or what's the other thing that happens? They give the baby to their mama. Grandma raising the baby. The baby is the grandma. Shout out to Jocelyn Hernandez, the Puerto Rican princess. What happens? The new girlfriend is taking care of the kids. He's sending the kids over to his sister's house. They don't take the child. Or they turn around and try to send the baby back to the mama that they fought so hard, tooth and nail, for custody from. This isn't an accident. It's on purpose, ladies. It is on purpose. These men are using these children like tools. We are the only ones, ladies. We are the only ones who believe in this fantasy, Disney, romance, rom-com nonsense. When I had my baby, all my problems just disappeared. No, that's not how it works. We're the only ones who are looking at our at children and relationships from this fantastical perspective that we've been conditioned with. They're not looking, the men are not looking at babies like that. They see them as tools, girl. Tools to have access to you, to have access to your free labor, to have access to your body. And let's not forget, men who have children make more money. There's social clout that comes with being a father. They make more money. They have better opportunities, especially married fathers. They have more opportunities than single childless fathers. Or sorry, you can't be a childless father. Childless men is what I'm saying. Having children is a benefit for men. They have access to women, the wife, the mother, and it's clout. It's social clout. It's social currency, and it's actual currency. So, ladies, you have to understand that, you know, you're approaching this from this Disney rom-com fantasy. I want to have my perfect family and my beautiful children, and and I'm gonna have that wonderful 2.5 picket fence and a little dog. That's not how your man is looking at it. He's looking at it like, I'm gonna knock this bitch up so I can have access to her forever. Forever. They're looking at it like, I'm having this child, so now I have a tool that I can use to manipulate you with. That even if we break up, I will still be able to harass you. I will be able to send my brother to you while you're not even working, but while I should be the one picking the kids up, I'm gonna send my brother to come stake you out and harass you. I'm going to take the kids because I know you have an emotional bond with them, and it's going to destroy you to not be around your children, even though I know I'm going to take your kids and then drop them off at my mama's house. Ladies, you have to be very cautious with whom you decide to have children with, to procreate with. You really do. While we're learning, or being indoctrinated with rom-com nonsense and Disney romantic nonsense, while we're being indoctrinated with that, the boys aren't. They're not. They're getting told by their wealthy, rich daddy or their daddies in general. They're getting told by their daddies, if you are trying to have access to a woman, knock her up. Just like that old white crusty dusty man said, get her pregnant. That's what he told his son to do when his son was being rejected by a woman. Get her pregnant. That's what these motherfuckers are learning. We're getting brainwashed with rom-com nonsense, and they're learning strategy. How to have access to free labor and free sex in your house. And we sitting here looking for chocolates and rings, diamond rings that we just found out diamonds aren't even exclusive. It's a setup. Everything's a setup. This whole system is a setup. So ladies, I just want to really impart on you to really be cautious about who you are laying up with. You know, we take it so, we make, childbirth, marriage, relationships, we make it so trivial. You know, like it's fourth grade and you're handing out Valentine's Day cards. You know what I mean? Will you be my Valentine? We make it so trivial, but it's not trivial. This shit is serious, especially when it comes to children and pregnancy, girl. Your life depends on this. How many women don't make it through the pregnancy? How many women don't make it through the birth? How many women walk away with, diseases that they can't, what do they call irreversible diseases? And I'm not just talking things like, I got a little pooch now. I'm talking like now you have diabetes that you never had until you got pregnant. Your teeth are falling. Did you know that your teeth can fall out when you're pregnant? Your hair. Now you got a $10,000 dental bill because you had a baby. You know how expensive it is to fix your teeth? I know. That's why I'm talking about it. Okay, ladies, you have to be very cautious. And not just that. That's the risk. But then you also have the risk, like I said, that this motherfuckers might have mutated sperm that can give you cancer. That motherfucker's DNA can change you for the worse. If you get pregnant by him, and remember, we talked about it on the previous podcast, go check it out. That's whether you keep the pregnancy or not, or even if you lose the baby, even if you have an abortion, his DNA can still change you because you got pregnant by him. And then you got to deal with the aftermath of having a child with a man. You got to hope that this man is going to stick it out with you, and he's not going to end up being the dude sitting on the couch playing video games while you got a baby on the hip, a baby on your head, and 3 babies crawling behind you. You got to hope that he's invested. And even if he is invested, if y'all break up, you don't know. You don't know if he's going to give a damn about them kids, because we've talked about that too. About how, and remember, I always come with the proof. I played clips of men talking about how they only love the baby as much as they love the baby mama. Yikes. So ladies, you have to factor all of that stuff in before you decide that you're going to let some motherfucker nut in you. Okay, I'm trying to keep it clean for the internet. You got to think carefully. You got to make sure. This is why women need to be hella selective. This is why in nature, typically women are hella selective, because we are taking a huge risk getting pregnant. You don't want to be in a situation like this woman who her baby daddy is doing stakeouts and setups with his brother to screw her and take her children away from her just because he's mad that he doesn't know where she lives. Yikes. Allegedly. Ladies, protect yourselves, because you're the only one that's protecting you. I promise you that. I promise you that. Because that motherfucker who told you to have and to hold, that's the motherfucker who will turn around and flip on you as soon as the circumstances change. Don't let you get sick now. We talked about that too. Don't let you get sick now. So ladies, with that being said, I want you to be very cautious about who you are deciding to be with. Okay, because this is unfortunately happening way more than it should. And that's another aspect of this. We like to try to pretend to ourselves, women, partly because it's so fucking depressing to actually acknowledge it. But we like to pretend that like, oh, it's only a few bad apples, right? We talk about the cops, right? It's only a few bad apples, right? But it's not, girl. This is what they teaching each other. I just played the clip for you. This is knowledge passed down from father to son to grandson to great-grandson to today. We want to believe that it's just a small, tiny percentage of bad actors, but it's not. It's way more than it should be. And it's way more than you think. So you need to protect yourselves because, again, pregnancy is a risk for women. Okay, girl? All right, we're actually going to wrap it up. I'm actually not feeling that great, guys. So we're actually going to wrap it up a little early this week. Sorry for the shorter episode, but my stomach is bothering me. So with that being said, guys, please check us out. Follow us across all platforms at No Niche Zone Pod. You can subscribe to our YouTube at No Niche Zone Pod. Send in your listener letters to nonichezone@gmail.com. You can also follow me at Pris the Goddess across all platforms. And I think that is it, y'all. We'll see you next time.